Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone is doing well. In this lesson, we are going to introduce a new type of exponents, which is called rational exponents. To be familiar with this kind of topic, we are going to do some review about regular exponents, which is a whole number exponents we deal with before. Let's check these two examples here. We are going to simplify the expression with exponents. We are going to show the answer in the positive exponent. Let's see the first one. When we divide power, as we remember, the rule is we subtract exponent. So which is, this is 4, 5, then we minus this. And the answer is -1. But since we need to keep the answer as positive exponent, we are going to rewrite this based on the definition. Whenever we have negative exponent, we can always convert it to 1 over. And this one is x to the -1, so it's x to the first, or we can just simply write this as 1 over x. Okay, so this one, review the rule. When we divide the power, we subtract exponents. So the second one, we have multiple parts, and this one we have this, but this one is whole thing. So we're going to do some side work on this one to figure out what's the answer here. So 2m third n squared to the third power. So since we have multiple pieces inside of parentheses, to the third power. So basically I distribute the 3 to every single part, which is 2 to the third power, m3 to the third power, and squared to the third power. And this one telling us 2 to the third power meaning 2 multiply 2, which is 8. But for this one, when we deal with power to the power, we actually multiply these two exponents here. So that's why this is 9. And this one, we multiply this two, is going to be n6. So I'm going to put the answer here as 8 to the 9th n to the 6th power. Then remember, when we have something similar with the same base, we can simplify them by adding exponents. So I'm going to keep 8 outside and then adding -2 plus 9, which is 7, and n6. There's nothing for us to simplify for the n part, and that's it. This is the answer. So several things we actually reviewed. When we divide, we subtract the exponent. And when we to the power, we multiply exponents. And when we multiply the power together, we add exponents. So these are some basic rules we are going to use. And do not forget that. Another part I want to remind you, there's a special definition is any number to a 0 power is 1. That's just a definition for the special exponent 0 power. But remember, x cannot be 0 because 0 to 0 power is considered as undefined. Okay, so that's some basic rule. I want you to keep that in mind because even when we move on to the new type of exponents, all the rules here are going to be working for the new situation. So let's jump to the question today. What is rational exponents and what does that mean and how do we handle this kind of calculation? Rational, as we mentioned before, rational number is actually kind of we call fraction number because every single rational number can convert it to a fraction. So rational exponents, as we expected, we are going to see the fraction exponent. Then what does that mean? Let's check these 3 examples. So after going through this, we will definitely have better understanding that. So as you can see, we have a fraction here, and the denominator here is actually telling us whatever the root is it. We can say nth root. So 2 meaning second root, another word which is square root. So 25 to the 1/2 power is actually equivalent as 25. This symbol is the square root. What does that mean when we find square root? Square root meaning you need to find a number multiplied twice to 25. Which number would work? Yes, you are right, is 5. So that's the answer for the first one. And now let's move on to the second. Still, we're dealing with 1/2, meaning the second root. So it's equivalent as square root of 9, which is 3. Next, we are dealing with 1/3. As we mentioned, whatever the number on the bottom is telling us whatever the root we are going to find. So for this one, we find the third root. Another word is called cubic root. So which is same as cubic root. So what is the symbol for cubic? Meaning we find the root here is still write this symbol and put little 3 here. And that's called cubic root. But one thing I want to remind you, you may wonder how come square root we don't need to put a 2 here, because that's just we put a 2 invisible. But any number beyond that, we are going to put a number. And this one tells us we need to find a number. Same number we multiply 3 times to get 27. Which number would be working? Yes, that's a 3. Okay, so that's what does that mean for the rational exponents. And whatever the number here, telling us whatever the root we are going to look for. Now let's check another 2 example, a little bit complicated. Let's see if we can solve it. So as you can see, we have a 2 part multiplied together. So we are going to deal with individually and then figure out the answer. As we just mentioned, 1/2 meaning square root, meaning the second root, right? So another word is a square root. So it's square root of 49. And this one since 1/3, so meaning the third root, meaning cubic root of 64. So this one is 7, and this one cubic root, if you are not so strong at mental math, you can always try out the number, because this one telling us we need to find a number. You multiply 3 times is 64. So after try it, you probably figure out the answer. This answer is 28. So 7 times 4, because the little dot here meaning multiplying, so it's 28. Let's move on next. This one, again, whenever you see the 1/3 meaning cubic root, do not forget, when you write down the root symbol, you need to put 3 here, meaning cubic. And this one says 1/2, meaning square root. So we just write down the square root symbol, 64. What number multiplies 3 times? We can get 125. Yes, you are right, it's 5. And what's a square root of 64? So one number multiplied 2 times is 64 is 8, yes. So the rest we just do the regular multiplication. 5 times 8 is 40. And that's our answer. Of course, you may wonder, we keep saying it's 1 over 1 over. What if I have some different number on the top? How do we deal with that situation? This will be discussed in the next video. See you soon, everyone. I hope this video is helpful. We will definitely discuss more examples about this rational exponents in the following video. See you soon.